all, everyone involved, street department, and yes,
Maybe a clarification on that. Chief, burn ban still in effect in the city for some stuff? I mean,
I have
for,
an
what,
issue.
no, for construction debris, I mean, it's what I'm.
Oh, yeah, you cannot burn construction material. Any type of lumber, building materials cannot be burned in the city.
so we'll take it free of charge, if it's in
Yeah.
someone with area.
Rather than somebody starting a big fire.
Was there something else? Did I miss something, Lance? Yesterday, is that all?
I don't think so. I don't know though, is everything's just a blur.
Oh, the parks, that's a big item that we don't normally have a department head here for. Jones Park will be getting cleaned up soon. They went through all the proper procedures, the 3 bids, and we'll be getting that, park board is gonna take care of that real soon. So, there's nothing for us to worry about on our end.
I think they had a DMP out there today.
They may have it cleared up around where South School uses the bus, but the bane trees that's out there, it's leaning over, they're gonna take care of it. So I just wanna give everybody a heads up on that. Okay, we're gonna move into unfinished business. So we got a rezoning request for 301 and 303 East 6th Street, that was presented on March 4th.
And this is basically a rezoning from R1 to R2 or multifamily residential. These are two small lots and 2 structures or 2 houses on the small lots. The owner is wanting to rehab those to where they're habitable and rentable. And you can't do it if there are one because the lots are too small and they haven't been used within the last year, so they aren't grandfathered in like they have been for the last 60 years. So this is an ordinance rezoning certain parcels from R1 single family residential to R2 multifamily residential, lots 1 and 2, block 9, corrected Pankey subdivision to the city of Kennett, Duncombe County, Missouri.
We have a motion to approve the ordinance.
Motion.
We have a second. Okay, motion and second, discussion. All in favor of the ordinance, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.
Second reading, an ordinance rezoning certain parcels from R1 single family residential to R2 multifamily residential, lots 1 and 2, block 9, corrected Pankey subdivision to the city of Kennett, Duncombe County, Missouri.
We have a motion. Yeah, it sounds like we have a second. Which way? Mr. Phelps, discussions. We'll have a roll call vote. We'll start to the left over here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, that's that. We'll move into Mr. Carter, museum report.
The windows have been ordered that we approved. They're gonna give us at least a week's notice before they would be coming to work, so we can get the display cases moved away and give them room. We've got the bid in the paper for the HVAC units, and I've already been contacted about one appointment to get in the museum and see those. Plaster cleanup, I guess, we'll work that in as soon as they can find time. Street department can find time.
That's great. Any questions?
Counselor Carter, since this thing's on the historical register, we have to maintain that, keep it up to spec. I want to get that clarified. There's been several questions on that, so.
All right, thank you all. Moving to new business. Agreement for dispatch services. I'll turn it over to Mr. Pitts.
What I have is a motion to consolidate the Kennett dispatch with the 911 and money from the dispatch budget to be consolidated with the police department's budget annually. Make that in form of a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Discussion.
Now, can you explain that a little bit better?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
We would like to move the dispatch that we have here, consolidate with the 911, so all of the dispatch will come out of the 911 dispatch.
And that's at county
Duncan County.
justice center.
That's correct. That is, when this was set up originally, they wanted all dispatch coming through 911, and that was back in 2010, I believe that's correct. There's taxes to be paid on that, and the premise behind that, all of it comes from one. There's been a lot of discussion on that between the chief, myself, people in the 911. This is not something that I just dreamed up overnight.
Well, listen, the reason I asked, this is the first time I've heard of it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
you know, maybe I slept through it. I don't know, but,
Ask all the questions that you got.
well, that's what I want to know. Personally, I don't see a reason to move it or get rid of it.
Yeah,
But this is the first time I've heard it.
yeah. We're,
The only reason is the cost, that it's costing us.
Well, what's it gonna
compared to
say?
the- Yeah, that, you
Well,
need to
what's,
explain
what,
that.
what is it gonna say?
it's not saving anything.
Okay. Then
That
why
money,
move it?
that money is going back into the PD department.
But
It's
you're
fine.
not spending all of it for that purpose.
Right now, the budget's $401,000. The contract for $250,000.
Okay.
And I think you're wanting to roll over the
Yes,
entire portion to the PD.
and that money will be spent on the Kennett Police Department.
The difference.
The difference.
What about the people that's working there now?
We're gonna retain one dispatcher to stay here. The county will take the other three.
So they don't lose their job?
No.
No. Nobody's losing the job.
How long have y'all been talking about this? How long has this been talked about?
We've talked about it in our committees. Our committee has talked about it.
I mean, this is actually the first time I've heard some rumors,
Right.
but I don't listen to rumors unless they're coming out of the horse's mouth. So, this is the first time I've heard.
I would have been happy to answer any one question that you might have had.
Well-
Heard that rumor.
I didn't know who to talk to about the rumor. So,
But I see advantages. The chief hates to give up an asset, and I understand that. The biggest advantage to it is rolling that money from the dispatch into the police department. It costs $250,000 a year when we roll this over. That's gonna leave us in excess of $151,616. So we will be able to better utilize some of our monies for our police officers.
well, what does it cost now to run the dispatch center?
$401,616.
This really has come up several times in years past, and has been something that has been anguished over a lot. Is it gonna save us enough money to switch or to go with the 911 system? And, you know, it seemed like it was more of an emotional thing than it was anything in the past when we chose to do this, to maintain the independence of the dispatch system. But I think it's a matter of money now, and I can certainly see why it would work to do that.
The equipment will stay here.
Yeah, the biggest cost savings would be the event that we had to replace any of our equipment. We would no longer be responsible for that. That will be on the 911. We will continue to keep this operational. In the event that there's a hiccup, there's a problem, they can come right back over here and go and work.
Or it gets destroyed at the location.
Right.
This can be
If that storm would have taken out the tower over there at 911, we'd still have been operational here.
So if we,
It's a 3-year contract.
6 months, a year, 2 years, 20 years down the road, we decide we don't want to do it, we can bring it back.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, you can. There is the contract, I've had Mr. McVeigh look that contract over. It went back a couple of times to make sure it was correct. It is likely. It'll be paid monthly. the event that either are not happy with the contract, 60 days, you can get out of that contract.
So the single dispatcher that's gonna be here, what is she gonna be doing?
She'll be doing reports. Chief's coming up with a job description for her. She'll take care of she'll still be sitting in that window so that 8 hours, 8 to 5, whatever hours it's gonna be, she'll take that walk-in traffic. There'll be a camera put up in a call box in the foyer there, so the event that after hours somebody comes in, they can pull that up and it'll go straight to dispatch and they can get somebody over here.
But is the door gonna be open where they can get in?
They'll get into the first door, not the second door, not after hours.
So if they come here for help, and all they do is can get in that first door and can't get no help right away, just say you got somebody chasing somebody that comes here and they get to a locked door and nobody around. That kinda concerns me.
Well, with, if they come straight in there, you've got one dispatcher in there.
Yeah, but we got a door that's locked. Cause they have to push that button to let that person in.
Right.
But this way, we just have a open door with a person in between the two doors and one's locked.
Right.
And I just think it's I don't know.
Any other comments?
Yes.
Mr. Council, I have a question on page 2 of the agreement, the consideration for the payment. Am I reading this that we pay in full?
No.
No.
A monthly, okay, because I didn't see monthly here, I was misreading
It'll
it.
be a yearly contract, and
Okay,
at first the contract did say, pay in full at one day. It was changed to pay, a monthly payment on that.
okay, I misread it then.
Chief, have we had that situation ever come up that Barry's talking about?
There are times the community has kind of grown to where the police department is like the safe people. Then they start having problems and they're out in the field, or they're out on the road or whatever. This community just knows what the police station is and that's where they come to for help. As far as the specific thing, what he's talking about, I'm sure it's probably happened over the years. But I can tell you, just in my time as chief, we even had a homicide victim be brought up here. They didn't know where else to take them. It's kind of a central place for people to come to get help. They know we got police, fire, and ambulance can be brought up there.
And we'll have access to.
You know, have access to them.
A direct line. Have a direct line.
Yeah, that will be a direct line. They hit the button, it goes directly to the dispatch in the 911. And it's not necessarily cost savings, it's being able to put more money into the police department.
I'm for that, but I know we haven't voted yet, but I'm not for this at all, because I haven't been brought up to speed with it. I'm sorry.
Well,
Don't wanna upset anybody, but it seems like we've been kept out of the loop on all that.
no, don't want to skip anybody out or anything.
Well, I'm not saying it was intentional, I'm just saying it just seemed,
That's been in every police committee. They've been discussing this for
Mhm.
quite a while.
well,
Isn't the committee like it's?
police committee, yeah, but when you're talking about doing something like this, I think it ought to be brought up before council before now, before you wanna vote on it. That's my opinion, for whatever you want.
Did y'all do everything that was the park committee? Do y'all bring it up, everything that's going to get done to us before you
We
decide?
bring it up whenever we are always asked the question, 99.9% of the time, has the committee talked about this?
As a committee, but not as a council.
I think what James is saying, though, something this major, it'd be like
This is
moving the
bigger than
fire
what-
administration building to all the way across town somewhere. I think I know we would bring it here first and get opinions before we went and done what we did.
I don't believe that. Committees I've sat in, I don't agree with that.
I love it.
Because there's too many things that you ain't decided if that's what you wanna do. You've gotta go through a process to get to that point before you decide. I mean, that's why I don't know, if you're gonna do that, everybody ought to be on the committee, everybody ought to show up. I mean, you gotta get to a point that you bring it to the council to try to get something passed, I think. I mean, I don't think you can,
So
We did-
the police committee is the 911 committee for the city.
Essentially, yes, sir. It's always been that way.
Okay.
The 911 directs, reports directly to the chief, that he fills those budgets, and that, they report directly to him. No, excuse me, not 911, dispatch.
Well, dispatch.
Yeah, dispatch, just 911,
Well, you look at people calling the police department. I had to call 911 for my wife when she had COVID.
Mhm.
I'm assuming it went to county, I don't know.
if it was a landline, it come to.
It was my
here.
cell phone.
If it's a cell phone, it went to dispatch
Yeah.
at the
And
sheriff
then
department.
and they transfer it.
And they transfer it.
Now, currently, right now, every cell phone goes to the county, they get transferred to Kennett. So you got two hands.
I mean,
Which is fine.
the first responders came,
Right.
and then the ambulance came.
Yep.
So I didn't know where it went to.
Right.
But there's time involved, transferring, there's time involved with them taking the call
Transferring it
and
to county.
transferring it down here and them answering it here.
Because the landlines are probably, if they're 5%, I would be shocked of the calls. Probably 95% of the calls would be,
Landlines?
no, cell phones, 95% is probably cell phones.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if it was 5% landlines.
I wouldn't think there's very, that dozen in the city.
So every cell phone's going out to the county, and then coming back this way.
Yeah, and that, last time I had to use that, which was quite recently, it was almost like, we have to transfer you, and it seemed like you're going, why are we wasting this time? Why didn't I call directly to it? And so I'm in favor of doing it anyway.
All right? Yeah. So it's time to call for a vote.
Yes.
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 No. No.
No. Yes.
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 Vote total is 7-3. Motion passes. Okay.
It will take approximately 6 weeks for everything to get done. Transfer the numbers, and there's some logistics that have to be taken care of.
What, say again, 6 weeks?
Yeah,
Okay.
possibly 6 weeks.
I was gonna say 8 weeks, but we have expectations for it to be quicker. I will say that. We're trying to,
Mr. Johnson is the chairman of the 911 board, so he can answer any.
And the part of the agreement, I think it's in the contract.
Yes.
It may not be. Kenny will be on that board. Lance, or chief, both chiefs are on the board.
Yes.
And then there's Marty and a couple other Kennett folks, I believe. So, that's who makes up part of that board.
And they are newly a part of that board now, both chiefs are?
Chief Wilson will be newly part of the board. Chief Lance has been on the board.
I've been on for year, our next meeting is the 25th of this month, so that's.
Okay, move on to our agenda. We need to, there's a approved not contract.
It's not a contract.
It's
That's what I say, it's not a contract.
Yes,
letter to
To
enter
move
into.
forward,
yes, it's a request for office.
Request for authorization for the airport board. They're building 4 new hangars at the airport. It's grant funded item, partially grant funded item.
correct. And we had approved, the number that comes to mind was 40,000. I'm not sure, I asked Jen to look into it back probably around August or so.
If needed.
If needed, if needed.
We need a motion.
Motion.
Motion and
I'll second.
okay.
A third.
Discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, that one. All right, there's been a request by Miss Carolyn Ellis for lien release and abatement fees. I believe this is, yeah. You have this,
You have the whole package.
I have the whole package
They
here.
have this.
Guess I'll read this to you. They had this, they had the
You
the
have
email.
the
Yes.
request.
Okay.
On the one property we do.
She's requesting, for the total that's owed in liens is $3,150. She would like to make this on a payment plan of $50 a month for 63 months. That would have to be at council approval if you all chose to do such. This is for the property on 808 North Jackson.
Just as a point of information, when I first came here, there were some people paying on an abatement. They paid $25 a month. So I started here in 2022. Tina said they were paying that when she started working here. Of course, it was probably in 2020. They paid it off this year. It's no
Creates a little more
problem.
paperwork on your part.
Well, you know, but we just receive the money and we can go into the system and, you know, it's not a big problem.
I think it's
Yeah, I think
it's not a problem for them. I think it'd be good to do.
Yeah, I do too. But at least we'll get it paid off. So, you need a motion, I'll make that.
I do need a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Questions on that particular request? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, second item is, and this is, it needs to be a policy, so I'd like for you all to approve or not, lien releases. When a property owner requests a lien release, I think it would be appropriate for them to pay the $25 fee for the lien release, if you so choose. That's, okay, you got a motion? Do we have a second? You have a second. Questions?
Explain.
So we have a lien against the property, and, someone takes possession of the property, they wanna look at the lien off there, it costs $25.
The recording fee, basically.
Yeah, the recording fee.
Okay, yeah.
In this case, you know, the law was just passed, is it a law statute here, that was passed where any liens over 3 years old, is that correct? Older than 3 years are no longer valid. So Ms. Ellis had purchased some property that previously had liens, but due to that change in law, those liens were discharged. But, I mean, the abatement amount was discharged, but in order to release the lien, it cost us the $25, so, you know, we want to pass that cost along.
We do have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor of the policy or motion, say aye. Aye. All opposed? We'll need that policy. Okay, thank you all.
It's 3 hours.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, I got hit at the show. Resolution.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're good. We're good.
That's why it
On
was
this
at the
thing.
bottom of your packet.
Anything else for new business before we go into guests? Okay, we're gonna go, I know he's not here, but Mr. Miller, just make sure he's not here. Was asked to be on the agenda. He's not here this evening, so we'll say that's been resolved. Anything else before we adjourn?
Oh, we forgot Kristen again.
That's it.
So the Chamber's received an application from the Kennett JCs for city tourism tax funds to advertise for the Parks and Carnival this year. They're requesting $5,000 on billboard, radio, and newspaper ads leading up to the event. That is the amount that was approved last year for them. Normally, they're ones that get funded every year because they bring in so many outside guests and tourists. The Tourism Committee has reviewed their application and recommends approving the application, allocating $5,000 tourism funds for approved marketing expenditures. So I'm just here to ask approval for that.
Motion.
The tourism account has $30,725 by the way.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sound like you got it. Thank you. Is that it?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Any Ruby Cousins coming up, new business openings?
The new Pickett Home Health Clinic will have a ribbon cutting for them on, I believe, the 25th at 3 o'clock.
25th of March. 3 p.m. Okay. All right, folks. Y'all have a good evening. Be adjourned.